To the 37-year-old blaming men for women's trauma, it's almost as if that's why we advocate that you date/sleep with less men before you us, the men who don't give women trauma.
I did that.
Did what?
I didn't sleep with anybody till I slept with my husband. I followed that and then got shit on for it. He didn't value it. He didn't care about it. He didn't care that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom.
Damn.
And then when I was single again,
I think
it was men who, it didn't matter if I said, I don't want to sleep with you, I don't want to sleep, or I don't want to hook up with you, I want to wait to sleep together. It doesn't matter. If I go on a date with them, they try to get into my pants. And that is, you are going to mess women up if you do that. And it would help if there is good men out there that see shitty men act that way and go, step the fuck up, quit treating women like that, be a better man so that we can have better women. Men are the leaders, and they do need to lead a little bit. The women will not be better if men keep doing this.
Okay. Well, it kind of sounds like your first husband was a dipshit, but
yeah.
But it's not just it's
Or your-
people I've encountered since then. And I know it's not all men. I'm not even going to say that. I have a wonderful dad. I have two brothers that are wonderful. I've seen my brothers dragged through the mud by shitty women. I think that both genders are actively destroying each other right now and looking at each other and going, it's your fault, be better. I am not going to be better. You need to be better. And we're just destroying each other, and it's not helpful. I don't know anybody who enjoys dating. And I think it would make a huge difference if the good men out there actually called out the shitty men and said, stop acting like that. You are ruining women for the rest of us, and we don't want it.
yeah, but I mean, I agree with you that there are bad men out there, but you're placing a disproportionate amount of the blame on men.
I'm not even saying it's just men. Women go along with it too. I think it's going to take both.
Yeah, but it's not
gonna take
men's
both
fault
genders
because
doing
y'all. It's not men's fault. Y'all fucked up.
Kind of.
No,
yes.
just
I
I'm not
agree.
saying
Shitty people out there.
I'm saying that like when I'm dating, and I'm not putting any fault on my ex or anything like that. I don't care. But when I'm dating and I tell a man, I don't want to hook up with you, I do not want to sleep with you early. And then when I'm hanging out with him, he is trying to stick his hands down my pants actively, and he's trying to do everything else that he can to get into my pants.
But then
Also, I've
what do you do when he
never
does that?
initiated in any.
I think it helps. I think it helps rules
You should
guys
leave,
out.
yes, but that is extremely difficult when it is in a woman's nature to be more sensitive and submissive like men want.
Right.
Exactly.
I've never been the
So you are
initiator in
forcing
any
women
circumstance that I've
to
ever
fight
been in.
against their submissiveness, to fight a man off, to tell him no, and then you want her to still maintain submissiveness when
First-
she's grown up having to not be submissive.
Yeah, first of all, submissive, for a woman to be submissive, it's to her husband, right? So a man worthy of submission,
Yeah.
not just any man.
Yeah,
If
I
we're
agree with
going
that.
in terms of,
I mean, we live
So
in
a
a
woman's
society
supposed to be a
that
boss babe
we-
until she's married.
Right.
No, but
Not
that's
to-
kind of my
but
point is
also-
that when men act that way, you force a woman to have to be,
We
to
submit
assume
to
that
many
role of
things.
boss babe.
not just to any man. Can you, right?
I mean, we submit to teachers in school. We listen to what they tell us to do.
But that's a different level
8
of
hours a
submission,
day.
a
I
different
mean,
definition.
it is, but
yeah.
it's.
I don't think
I
it's a
mean,
men
we
thing.
are
It's
still
a
submitting.
shitty person
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. But how do you submit to be led by somebody if you know, when you look around, if there's doesn't seem like there's really a good choice for somebody to follow?
yeah, that's not
Hold
someone
on.
to.
Then what do you do?
We'll
What do
come
you
back
do?
to
Do
it.
you-
One sec.
Klein donated $200. Is it men that cause baggage or your bad choice in men? Accountability works both ways.
It's both. If there's no good choices in men, that makes it really hard.
But if there's no good choices, do you settle or do you wait until there's a better
That's hard.
option?
When you want to be a mother and you have a time clock on that. You know, I might never have
Can I
kids.
ask you a random question? Have you considered removing all your piercings?
I have. That's part of why I said I look better, maybe better now than I did when I was younger, is because I had very short hair when I was younger. I used to have way more piercings. I have made changes to things to try to be like, okay, if I want this type of man, I need to vary things a little bit and do things a different way. It's also, I'm in an extremely liberal area, which plays a big
Right.
part in it. And I know that. That's why I know it's not all men. But it's part of why, as a woman, when I say this, men say, it's your fault for picking bad men. If there's a lack of
No, I
good
understand.
men. And that's where I'm like, other good men helping lead men
Don't
to be
show that.
better
But also,
helps overall.
I mean, I feel for you, and I get that you want to be a mother. But if you think about the fact that, I guess in your head, maybe you're thinking, I'm willing to settle so I can achieve
Oh
this.
no, I haven't
but-
done that. That's why I'm still single and I'm not a mom, because I
Okay.
don't want to settle for that.
Okay.
Well, I'm just asking.
Rich guy loves strong women donated $200. There are plenty of good guys out there. The problem is that they are 5'6" and are cashiers at Walmart. She's upset because she goes for guys outside of her league.
Not true.
And Chad won't commit.
Not true. I go for plenty of guys who are not. I can show you the last guy. I can show you, both of you guys, not online. I can show you a picture of the last guy I was talking to for about.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you ever wear like nice dresses that are like very traditional looking?
If I'm going somewhere where that's the case, yeah.
Okay.
But for the most, I mean, I wash boats. I don't dress up a whole lot.
Because I would say, like as a Christian man, if I want a family and you have the piercings that you have, and I just say this in a nice way because you're open-minded and you seem like you do have good intentions, and I want the best for you, I would remove all the piercings.
Yeah, because they don't see it, and
Right,
yeah.
you're gonna attract what you are partially, and I also do understand the lack of masculinity. I definitely agree with that. That's why we have to make cultural shifts, such as like this podcast, that enables us to do more of that. But I would start with the external looks because that's what they're gonna judge right off the bat. That's why they are trying to get in your pants right off the bat as well.
And
Yeah.
also, what matters is like your own intention. Like, for example, I think a lot of Christian women struggle with modesty because they feel like being immodest is maybe empowering, but really, if you think about it, like the type of person that you want is going to value you for so much more than your
dress
body
modestly.
and showing that off.
I dress modestly. I always have. I've never been big, and that's part of the problem is, you know, when as a woman in your teens and 20s, when you're dressing modestly, and I'm sure you guys, if you guys dress modestly, you've noticed it, you don't get attention from guys.
No.
At least where I
Not
live,
the
you
wrong
don't.
kind of guys, but the
You
right
don't-
kind
I don't
of
get
guys.
attention from any.
Well, I'm gonna say
where I'm at.
quantitatively, you're gonna get less attention, less numbers, but quality. You're gonna attract the quality.
100%.
Yeah.
I can test that.
But it's even just, you know, it's just, I just mean in terms
Like-
of if it's going to get changed at all, it doesn't just, blaming everything on the women doesn't help.
No, I agree, but you have to start with your part first.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with
and
that.
And then we can start complaining about the men. But I still understand once again, and I think once again making the cultural changes and having men listen to stuff like this where they are being encouraged to follow more ethics and virtues, the immaterial aspects that we don't push. We push all the material. Look for a guy with looks, that he's got to be tall, make a lot of money, but they negate the actual stuff that matters that they have to pass on to their kids: respect, honor, integrity. These are the things that people need to be doing.
I agree.
Yeah, and honestly,
One sec.
Devon Jackson donated $200.
Yeah, thank you, Devon.
We can play this accountability game all day. If all women required marriage before sex, then marriage is what they get. Sex has been so readily available, it's fried men and chivalry with it.
I waited till marriage.
I will say though,
So-
the most like high quality and kindest men I know, I asked them like, what's your biggest red flag for women? And they said signs of them not respecting themselves. And an example of that is posting really revealing pictures
don't-
on social
I
media.
don't post revealing
I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying that these are the kindest men and high quality men. They do exist. They're out there, and that's what they value. And so I'm just saying, like, it's not that, yeah, like what you said. I mean, quality over quantity.
But when you're like, I mean, in the area that I am in, it is so against the norm to at all try to wait for marriage or anything.
But against the norm is what's good, and that's what.
Yes,
I
but I
think
mean,
also-
I mean
I mean,
against the
modesty
norm
used to
to the
never-
extent of like, if a woman wanted to wait till marriage, there is like a 1% chance that she's gonna find a guy in my area that's willing to do that. Like most of the churches, everything is extremely liberal. They don't.
But 1%
it's
is pretty good. The 1% of men
Maybe.
is the good ones.
Yeah, but I tried to wait, and now I know that my pool is a lot smaller. I'm not young. I'm not 25.
I mean, biblically, though, like, modesty never used to have to be a thing or lust in that sense because, like, I mean, they were naked.
I
So,
think
like-
They weren't naked. No, that ended. That ended in the Garden of
And then
Eden.
They had shame because of it after the Garden of Eden.
I think also, like, look, I have
What?
tattoos and piercings, but I'm also looking for something different. Like, you know, you have tattoos, piercings, you have highlighter, color nails, and, like, you know, smoke. Like, it's just like, I'm looking for something different, but at the same time, like, a very Christian man who wants, like, a modest girl isn't, like, having tattoos and piercings and like brightly colored nails and stuff. That's just like
It's not
just like
common.
how it is.
It's not common.
Well, it's it's also just how like I've never met someone who has like the same like look as you and like also waited for marriage. Like good for you, you know, but